Come here, son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. If you invest enough money in your pocket knives and you live through the experience of somebody saying, hey, can I borrow your knife? You'll learn quickly to not do that. Or maybe if you feel like going through it, you might decide to say, okay, let me get a knife or two or three that I don't mind other people using. These two have served well in that capacity. This one has seen a car audio guy sawing off a pieces of a plastic kit, and in addition to a bunch of yard work, a bunch of cardboard, a bunch of who knows what. I probably use this one more than any of them. This one here, this is for prime time, and this is to save my tail out on the road if I need it, which it did once already, to the point where I even chipped the blade. There's actually a video about that. I was taking off a strip lug on a tire in 20-degree weather. I got a video on that. But I've went ahead and decided to start carrying a second knife just because I had a box for this thing. I wonder what I did with that box. Oh well. Oh, here it is. So I'm gonna see if I can use this on my TikTok channel when I do the short. Anyhow, it's a cold steel Tuff Lite. At first, I started carrying this one as a second blade or third, depending on how I was looking at it. I was carrying this offhand. This clip had gotten loose. I tightened it up recently with these Allen keys. I'll talk about this later. Great knife. For what I got it for, love it. However, recently, I found myself needing to carry a multi-tool, or wanting to carry a multi-tool, because I had a moment where I had one, and this is a little cheaper from Amazon, and it failed on me. Look, you can see parts of it. They don't lock. The tools don't lock open, and they don't stay shut. They won't lock open, but they won't stay shut. So it's like, okay, before I chop my hand off or cut my hand, let me just go ahead and I got a Gerber center drive. I'll talk about this later too. So I'll go ahead and keep the holster on me. And I actually forgot the name of this flashlight. It's actually a darn good light, to be honest with you. It's a stream light. Okay, well, stream light, micro stream. I forgot the name of it. All I know is that booger works. It's great. But I like this holster for this center drive too, because you can put the knife in there and you can put your flashlight or whatever else you can fit up in there. A pen is going to be a little bit too long, but when I'm on the road in the evenings, I just bring this with me, and it makes life a whole lot easier. Anyway, so with that being said, that doesn't leave me any room for this knife while I'm out on the road. I think having that multi-tool is a better option because, hey, a day came when I could have used it, went digging around in my bag for this, and was just sorely disappointed. So right now, I'm going to keep this on me. And I don't know, I may get a smaller multi-tool, but of good quality from either Leatherman or Gerber. SOG actually has some offerings in that too. We'll see. But offhand pocket, this doesn't pocket well for whatever reason. And what I do is I actually would put this in my pocket next to my two backup refills for my power tool. And number one, I just don't like the idea of possibly reaching down and cutting myself, because I'm going to keep these types of knives, or this one at least, tip up. But I have another knife where I was carrying tip up, and what ended up happening was I ended up reaching down in my pocket and cutting myself like that. And this one's kind of wide because of the way these Spyderco blades are. So I said, you know what? I've been looking at the Tuff Lite for a while. It looks like it has a good blade profile on it. I happen to be thinking about it. A lot of times there's stuff I need to get off of Amazon or wherever, and I just forget about it. This is a nifty little fella. I should have got. I wanted to get the Tuff Lite Mini, but they didn't have one with the serrated blade. And if I'm gonna have a, I'm not gonna say a throwaway blade, but if I'm gonna have a less expensive blade, then I want serrations. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that, man, these blades are dirty and nasty looking. But anyway, I mean, I use them, so that's gonna happen. Anyhow, first thing that you notice, these are about the same size before I even start talking about anything else. They're close to the same size. This is the Spyderco Persistence. But the the Cold Steel Tuff Lite is a lot lighter, literally. It's literally a light blade. You forget it's in your pocket, seriously. Profile-wise, I don't recommend trying to one-hand close this. Not even one-hand open it, because what I was going to start talking about is the heavy detent. To me, the amount of care you have to put into opening this thing, you might as well just go ahead and open it with two hands. But with that being said, the profile on this Tuff Lite seems to be, it feels a little bit smaller as far as width and length. It is a little bit shorter, actually. I wish I could. That's going to be the best I can do for you there. As far as the width is concerned, let me see. Does that do it justice? Maybe. Possibly. So the dimensions are a little bit smaller, so it's easier to reach my hand in my pocket for those other two items that are in there just in case I need them. And this one came tipped down. You can't change it to tip up. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Now, they got this key ring deal on it. Is it light enough to put on a key ring? I guess as long as it's not the one that you're going to use, you know, for your actual vehicle keys, I think that'd be a little bit too much. So number one, fairly slim. Is it more slim than this one? They're about the same width. But as far as height, or maybe I should say thickness. So height and width, I just feel like it's a smaller profile to carry. Heavy detent, but it's got the triad lock. So even though your fingers, all this stuff about choking up close to a blade, I'm not a big choking up on any type of blade fan. I don't like that. However, this one has 2 finger grooves in it. So it's going to stay secure. It's got finger grooves here, jimping here. It locks in place well. And with a good old cold steel triad lock, I trust that it's not going to close on my hand. Now, as far as closing it, I also recommend a 2-hand closure, because if you've had any cold steel products, they're going to come razor sharp. This one's still razor sharp, even though I've cut some cardboard and some other junk with it so far. So I'm careful with this one just because of how heavy the detent is. I mean, it's like a heavy magnet or a rubber band or something like that. I like the texturing on this. I guess this is an FRM material. Not sure. I think this is AUS 8 steel. If I had to sharpen this knife, I think it could be done. I do think that using this work sharp, the serrations, the round serrations fit well in there. I think even with the tooth-shaped serrations, I'm pretty sure there's a name for them. I don't know. I might have to find another tool to try to wedge in there, but you know what? If I can just take this edge here, you can use the top of the work sharp, and then I can use the back of a leather belt just to smooth it out. And then, so for all I'm concerned with, those teeth may not even need to be sharpened. And then, you know what? If you look close, they're actually round as well. They're convex as well. So maybe, just maybe, they may sharpen with the honing rod as well. But we're gonna see how long this lasts. We'll see how I'm you know, these here, they get used. This is my yard knife. this one and this one can be any type of junk knife, and so will this one. Plus, if anybody asks to use a knife, here, you can use that one because I'll have it on me. So let's say I have one of my quote-unquote nicer knives with me. I can still double carry this one or have a second blade, and I can hand that one to someone else, because any of my other blades, which are for prime time or basically to replace my power tool in case my power tool is down, or maybe just in close quarters if life gets ugly, you know what, sometimes that 21-foot rule can come into play. Now, I know I do talk about some more expensive knives on this channel, but demographics from 17 to 35, and I don't know what a person's income situation may be or disposable income situation may be. Look, a knife ain't got to be expensive. This was $29. If you just need a knife just to work with, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Hell, if you don't like serrations and you like a fixed blade, because I've had a lot of guys ask me, man, where are your fixed blades? This and my Glock knife are my only fixed blades. SOG Instinct. This is just fine, and I done cut all kinds of stuff with this one too. I don't do anything with this knife but use this work sharp. I don't go into any more detail with it than that. I don't need this one to be razor sharp, because if I'm carrying this, I'm carrying it offhand on my left side. Jesus, this thing is dirty. I'm carrying it on my left side, and the way I draw could cut my shirt or cut my clothes or cut something like that. Maybe even cut me. So I don't need it to be razor sharp. I just need it to be usable. And I got it to where it'll dig into your fingernail and it'll get you enough of a cut like that. But I think I paid $50 for this knife. Now, it's small. I ain't the biggest fan of small knives, but when I carry this one, it's concealed also. It goes under a shirt. So $50, $50, $50. Hey, if you want the non-SV, shoot, I think it's, let me not speak on the, wait a minute. They have a better blade on these Kershaw blurs now if you want it. This is like, this might be HCR 13 maybe. Let me see something. Let's see, what kind of blades can you get with the Kershaw blurs. So I'm sorry. That one's actually 14C28N, but you can get it with a much better blade. You can get an S30V with the Kershaw blur. How much is this one? Okay, they want $143 for that one. Ew. I don't know. Let's see. Now for the plain Jane version. Wait a minute. Y'all, Kershaw, what are y'all doing? Look at this. This is Kershaw's website. Hold on. Stop it, Kershaw. Come on now. Now, just FYI, this one this is like a factory second. That's why it has those X's on there. So I paid, when I bought this, it was like $50. Let me look up Amazon. Because a Kershaw blur was my first decent knife, so I don't like, well, I mean, is it a good knife? Hell yeah. But God dog, man, $150? I don't know. Okay, so here's the and I actually have that olive green one too. I snapped the blade off. I snapped the tip off by mistake, using it for something other than what it's supposed to be used for. But let's see. So here's the one I got, $70. Okay, that's a lot more like it. It looked a lot nicer when I first got it too. So you can tell how much this one's actually been used and how old it actually is. But again, $70. These days, for a pretty regular steel. Hey, the coating on these is excellent. That you're looking at like a 14-year heavy use on that coating, and it's still pretty dark. But anyway, we just talking about saving money on knives, or just getting a overall general use knife. It ain't got to be super fancy. $70 versus $50. Kershaw, I don't know what y'all doing, but I think I'd have to go with this Spyderco. And these are just mine. There are others that may be better, may be worse, depends on what you like. But if you just need a knife, doesn't need to deploy really fast, you just need it to cut, it's a damn good substitute, or even maybe a replacement for a razor blade, if you ask me. But with that razor blade, you get the razor cutting, and you can get rid of that old blade and then simply snap on a new one. But if you just want a folding knife that serves that same purpose, it's got that Warncliffe style to it. By the way, this is a chisel grind. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you only got to sharpen it on one side, at least just for this tip. So if you get one that's, see if I can get the focus. If you can get one or want one that's a plain edge, it's a chisel grind. Even though it's got that curvature in here, and I forget what that's called. I'm not one of the guys who's going to tell you the exact geometric proportions and every type of steel. Hey, there's other channels for that. They're excellent at it. I'm not one of those guys. Damn it, I need it to work. But look, man, you're a college student, younger kid, hitting a construction site for the first time, or hell, you just need a knife to work. It don't need to be expensive. It ain't got to be state-of-the-art steel. Just give me a knife that works. Look, $30. You can't beat this. I wear a size large glove, so using the finger grooves, my pinky's going to wiggle and hang off a little bit. If I am just the palm of your hand, it can darn near disappear. That's how relatively small it is. I mean, look at the box it comes in. I wish I could show you this compared to some of the other boxes, but this is a tiny little box. I like it. It serves a purpose for me. It does what I need it to do. Maybe in about a year or so, I can come back and say if either one of these is better or if this is better than the other one. But for $30, Cold Steel, you can't beat it. Look, I don't know if anybody's beating Cold Steel's budget knives. There's a lot of stuff you can get from Cold Steel for 20 or 30 bucks. Probably not, maybe not 20. But between $30 and $50, you can get a lot of different form factors, a lot of different features, triad locks, maybe some of the other type. Was that the Shark Lock? I don't know if they have that. That's probably just on those newer Demcos, the Demco designs, Andrew Demco. And I think most they had some that were like these with the Omega Springs. I forget what Cold Steel's version of it was called. But most of them are going to be triad locks. And for, you can look up the torture test and the weight test that they put against these 500 pounds of pressure, sometimes more. Just for a knife that works, a plain knife that works, this is going to be great. For, does somebody, can I borrow your knife? Great. Want to leave it in your truck, leave it in your toolbox? Great. Secondary, backup knife? Great. Could you use it as a backup to a power tool if you can get to it? If you can get it and deploy it? Sure. It's secure. I think this is a 2.5-inch blade. So, if you want more range, I don't know. But if you like that Warncliffe cutting geometry, or, you want to get some good leverage when you are trying to take something in hand and push it out, saw a little bit with the serrations, hey, why not? I recommend it. I like it. But, it's been used a little bit so far. We'll see over time. I'm rambling at this point. I probably do that too often. You probably have turned off by now if you watched through to the end. Well, God bless your soul. And I hope I gave you some information that you can use. And I hope I made a suggestion to anybody who might be able to use this. So I hope the information was valuable to you. And as always, never lose the will to win, never lose the will to survive.